All right, go ahead, clap and I'll start it off. Ready? In 3.
I'm just the clapper.
Yeah, you can be the clapper, man. I like that. We're gonna have to do
I just clapped.
No, we gotta do a countdown that we can get prepared.
You said clap and I'll start.
No, I said 3, and then you just clapped.
You heard him say that, right? You heard him say clap and I'll start. I just clapped and he's not starting. He's still not starting.
All right, let's go.
I want to clap again.
In 3.
That's just being dishonest.
In 3, 2, 1. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Spitball Podcast. As always, I am Nick.
Anthony Reyna.
And our Instagrams are right here.
Oh, right here.
So, we're going to get things started off with last night. The Golden State Warriors played the Toronto Raptors. Game 1 of the NBA Championship. Toronto ended up taking that game. Score of 118 to 109. Yeah, so let's get into that.
So who did you think was gonna win the game?
I had Golden State. Actually, no, I didn't really have a team that game. I had reasons why I thought Golden State could have won. I have reasons Toronto. But for the I did think Toronto was going to take it. I mean, Golden State was going to take it. I had Golden State.
I was telling everyone that if Toronto was going to win any game, it was going to be this game. Just because KD's not back yet. Everyone, well, except for Kawhi, everyone's kind of at full health for the Raptors. It's at home. The Warriors never played game 1 away ever. I think it's the first time since they started coming to the championship that they played game 1 away.
It's also their first time under Steve Kerr losing game 1 of an NBA championship.
I just felt like if there was a game for them to lose, it was going to be this one. But after I watched the game and I watched the highlights and stuff, I'm more confident than I was like before this game and the Raptors' chances of winning more games. Just because Kawhi had probably his worst game of the playoffs, and they still found a way to win by, 9 points?
They won by 9.
They won by 9.
118
Even with Kawhi playing horrible. Well, not horrible, but first half he finished with 5 points, 1 for 5. Kyle Lowry didn't have much of an impact throughout the game. It was mostly Van Vliet was making shots. So, Siakam he had 32, right? Siakam had 32. And so, I just think that, especially now Iguodala's hurt, even if he plays and he's limited, without KD, without Iguodala, there's not going to be much people that are able to guard Kawhi. They were double teaming him a lot throughout the entire game. So if you let Kawhi off that leash, he's going to score. That's going to leave Siakam open even more so than he was. He scored 32 with Draymond, probably one of the best defenders in the league on him. So,
See, my thing with that as well, though, early on in the game started off and it just looked like a 3-point contest.
From what I just saw like that. Well, first of all, and Draymond said it after the game too, Golden State was bad in transition. Siakam was running up and down the court, scoring layups. He had, I think it was 14 or 12, 13 shots straight. I don't remember the exact number. It's 12, 13 shots straight in the second half or something like that. Like some crazy amount. And that's when they started to...
the Raptors started going...
yeah, they started to separate from the Warriors. So,
see, the game started off, it was exactly like a 3-point contest, and I think teams, when it comes to playing the Warriors, they try to beat them at their own game, and that's why every team loses against them. If you look back at last year, the Cavs, the most 3-pointers in NBA final history or NBA playoff history, didn't work. These teams think the way of beating...
Well, the Rockets too, remember Game 7?
Yeah.
Last Western Conference Finals, the Rockets, they were and they missed 25 threes or something. They had the most missed threes. So that's just, no team has beaten them yet, with a specific set game plan other than the Cavs in 2016.
But I mean, Kyrie Irving had a lot to do with that
as
well.
That's what I'm saying. They didn't have a set game plan. It was pretty much just LeBron, Kyrie, 40 points a game, you know what I'm saying? And they would just really just overpower him. There's not really a game plan for the Warriors because their game plan is to just score from wherever. So that's why I feel the Raptors, they play really great defense. So that's why I give them a good opportunity to win another game or two. If they go up 2-0, then it's really a series. It's crazy how a team has to go up 2-0 and the Warriors for us to be whoa.
Yeah.
Because they never even go down.
Yeah, because right now they took game 1 and I'm not worried at
that's
all.
What I'm saying.
I have the Warriors winning. Let's get into our predictions right here.
Yeah. I would hope the Raptors win because obviously it hasn't happened yet with this Warriors team. But realistically, if somebody asked me to put money on the line, I'm not betting against the Warriors by any you know.
So you're going with the Warriors are going to win the championship. You want the Raptors.
I want the Raptors to win, but like my heart is with the Raptors. My brain is with the Warriors. I just feel like they figure it out one way or another.
All right, so the Warriors taking how many games then?
If they do win, it's gonna be 6. I think they're gonna win game 2, and then if everything goes right for them, obviously they take the 2 at home. Toronto wins one more game at home, and then they close it out in their home court, game 6. Golden State.
Okay, I'm going Warriors in 7.
Okay.
I don't think it's fair to say that the Warriors are going to win any sooner than that, especially after watching last night's games. I'm going to give the Raptors a lot of credit.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, this was my prediction before I saw, what happened last night. I didn't expect it to be that way. I like I said, I did tell people that if the Raptors were going to steal a game, it's still a game. They're at home, but if they're going to win a game, it was going to be this game. Especially they had a lot of momentum. The Warriors had a little more time off. They might have been a little rusty. So, I just think that, especially if they can get people to come back fully healthy. Boogie played. He did not look good, though. He slows them down a lot.
Andre Iguodala re-injured his his thigh or something on his leg, whatever his
quad, I think.
His quad.
Yeah.
He re-injured that last night, so who knows.
So there's a lot of question marks. If Iggy and KD aren't back by, say, game 3, and the Raptors go up 2-0, and there's still injury questions and stuff like that, it could be a real problem for the Warriors, honestly.
So now,
go ahead.
KD, obviously, he's out.
Mm-hmm.
He's missed the whole entire series against Portland. He missed Game 7 of the Houston game. They won 5 out of their last 6 without KD.
Right.
Their loss being last night to Toronto. If they lose Game 2, the Warriors go down 0-2, should KD rush back if his knee is not 100%?
I would say yeah, because they're going home anyway. If they started in the Warrior, if they started in Oracle and Golden State Arena, they went down 2-0 to the Raptors at home, I would say the series is over. But they're going back home. If they go down 2-0, they can easily tie it up going back to Toronto. So whenever KD's ready, you could play him. The weird thing to me is that when KD got hurt against the Rockets, they won. They looked better without him. I'm thinking, okay, he's it's probably a minor injury, but they know they're going to the finals, so they're going to save him for the finals.
Yeah.
They beat the Blazers very easily anyway, swept them. So then the finals come, I'm thinking, okay, KD's going to be back game 1. Now they're saying he might not come back game 3 or game 4. So at first I just thought it was they were just going to save him, make sure he's 100% for the finals.
Yeah.
Now it seems like they're rushing him, so it makes me believe that the injury was worse than they let on initially, which isn't really a good sign, especially like for us Knicks fans. Like, if he's going to be hurt going into the offseason and stuff like that. That's
a huge question mark on whether or not that's the main guy we target.
Not even that. I mean, I you still target him, but it's just whether his injury is so important right now to the series and to the NBA in general, because if they lose without him, it can mean one thing. If they win without him, it can mean one thing.
Yeah.
There's so many pieces that fall into place, so it's just really weird situation. I will say that already after one game with all these questions, it's more interesting of a finals than the last 2 years already, for me at least, against the Cavs, because you go into the finals, this is going to be a sweep or a 5-game series.
Well, I mean, the Cavs were also a boring team to watch. They had LeBron James. Well, we've seen LeBron James in the finals the last 8 years in a row. We knew the type of game plan that was coming in. So watching the Warriors, Cavs every year, or Warriors against LeBron every year, it does get boring. So I think it is, and the Warriors are a really fun team to watch. Hate them or not, they are a fun team to watch. Sure. They're pulling up from half court. They make everything look so easy. They're a fun team to watch. Now, if you hate the Warriors, I feel like this shouldn't be the Warriors team you hate right here. The team playing right now, they're playing with a team that's fully drafted right now.
Right, yeah.
Outside of DeMarcus Cousins, but
Iguodala's a role player for them at the moment.
Yeah, and Iguodala, he's been there.
Yeah,
he's been there originally. No one was hating on him when he first got there. If you're gonna hate on a Warriors team, hate him with Kevin Durant there, I guess.
For sure. I'm fine with this. If the series stay like this and if they announce KD's not coming back, I'll be really excited.
I think that would be a fun series, because I do think if KD comes back, I do think that this series will end sooner.
There's a lot of question marks, because if he comes back and he's 50%, 60%. And he's not able to get up and down the floor and score the way he can. He's kind of, I won't say he's a liability because he's still KD. But he might, the way they changed their game plan, to get him in, into the swing of things and feed him the ball a lot. If he's there and he's not 100%, their entire offense is just going to be slowed down, especially if they're feeding him the ball, and he can't even score it. That's kind of just going to be a waste for them, and they might lose more games with KD there if that's the case. If he comes back and he's 100%, then that's a different story. Another thing is the fact that Kawhi's hurt. He's kind of like hobbling around and stuff. Yeah. So it's that I'm excited.
See, I would say if KD comes back the series is over in 6 with KD back. KD not coming back, I have it going to 7.
Yeah, well that's what I have anyway. But that was before, and I was assuming KD was going to play in the first game. So if he doesn't come back until Game 3 and the Raptors are up 2, or if they go up 3-0 somehow, I mean, then it's a whole different story. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I guess we gotta wait and figure out. But
all right. If he's not here, just tell my mom.
Okay, so just to be clear, you're saying the NFL is better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So am
I don't give a fuck about you. How about that? Flip this.
Whoa.
Hell yeah. Soccer chair, baby. Yeah. Let's go. We're all in here, though.
The fuck? You meant to do that, you bitch? I feel like a little kid in this seat.
Alright, so we're good. You're gonna eat during the...
I might.
Okay.
It's my show.
Yeah.
You're in the middle, so.
So, okay, there's a camera here.
Wait,
camera
there, can you see me?
Can
you see me?
Clap, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Alright, so we cut off, but in the in between takes, we brought a very special guest. It's Back to the Future Nick, because his dad and him are literally the same exact person. So, no, this is Nick's.
Yep.
This is Jeff right here, and we're just gonna keep it going. So,
yeah, my dad. Cool. So, what we want to do is when we bring guests onto the show, we want our guests to bring something that either means something to them or something about their favorite team. Just anything like that. So we have people who are Raven fans in our friend group. If they want to come on, bring a Raven hat, we can get into discussion with that. How about we get into that? What'd you bring?
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Aunt,
Of course.
Nicky Mo.
It's a pleasure.
Absolutely.
I've been waiting a lifetime for this, guys. All right, so what I bought today, this is my 1988 North Bergen High School Football State Championship MVP trophy. It used to be 3 tiers, but after about 27 years, this is what's left, guys.
That was the whole show.
All right. A lot of stuff going on. North Bergen High School, Hudson County, New Jersey. Has a long history of producing some great athletes, some great teams. I was fortunate enough to play in 3 state championship games, winning 1, losing 2, but playing in all 3. Sophomore, junior, and senior year. Senior year winning it. Beating Patterson Kennedy, led by Dante Noble, former defensive back for the University of Michigan. Was an all-state defensive player. And a bunch of really good players. James Hargrove was on that team also. Also was part of their basketball team that we wound up playing in Group 4 Section 1 state championship basketball game, which I also played. And he was a Division I athlete too. They came ready to play, but we had something for them that day. They were ranked 4th in the state. We were 20th, and at the end of the day, we were 4th and they were 20th.
You still won?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we came with heart.
What position did you play?
I played everything. I played defensive back. I played corner. I played safety, slot receiver, ran back punt returns, kickoff returns, held for extra points. If they needed a third string quarterback, I was the guy.
Whatever they needed you for.
Anything, man.
And basketball, you were...
Basketball, I started point guard for the team for 3 years. Freshman year, won a county champ. I got a little story. Freshman year, county champions in Hudson County. And my senior year, which I graduated in 89, we played a team, St. Anthony's, number 1 team in the country. 32-0, led by Bobby Hurley, former Duke standout. Played number 6 pick with the LA Clippers back in 1992. Won a national championship with Duke. Terry DeHare and Jerry Walger, both 4-year starters at Seton Hall University. Terry DeHare had about a 13 or 14 year career in the NBA. And our freshman year, my freshman year, we won the county championship beating St. Anthony's in the county championship game. It was a great feat, but Terry, Jerry, and Bobby were all playing on the varsity. So really, we kind of got the second and third stringers, but we still won. But yes, I did play all 4 years.
A win is a win.
A win is a win is a win. All right.
All right, so we're going to get things started off. Me and Ann have been talking about the NBA and the NFL. What is the better league? We have two different takes on this. I am strong on the NFL. I think the NFL is ran way better than the NBA. I think the NBA has a better commissioner, but the NBA is the same thing over and over again. It gets extremely repetitive every year. We just know it's the same team's going to be in it over and over again. We've had LeBron in the finals 8 years in a row. We've had the Warriors in it 4 or 5 years in a row. So when it comes to football, we have the Patriots in the NFL. But outside of that, at least you know you're getting a new team in the NFC every single year. Mm-hmm. So due to that reason, right there alone is why I strongly believe the NFL is better than the NBA. It's more to watch. It also sucks being a Knicks fan in the NBA, knowing that your team just isn't going anywhere. You're hoping just for a high draft pick every year and hoping for next season, where in the NFL, I'm a Viking fan, and there is a little bit of hope. So, yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, let me just say that me saying that I prefer the NBA over the NFL to watch, and as a league, it's not me saying I don't like the NFL, because I love both leagues, I love both sports. I watch as much as I can from either one. The reason I like the NBA more, and I just prefer it as a league, I personally feel like it's ran a little better. I think they give the players a lot more freedom to do what they want. They have more of a voice, you know, and they just stand for a lot more. You know, they each have their own sneaker brands and all this other stuff. They all have their own style, stuff like that. So it stands out a little bit more. I'm glad you brought up the Knicks point, because since the Knicks have been horrible my entire life, I've learned to be able to root for other players and other teams, and I can enjoy from like a neutral standpoint. Whereas in the NFL, I find it hard to root for other teams other than the Giants or just local teams that, you know, I don't know. I don't seek out other games. If there's a good game on TV, I'll watch it if it's on Sunday night or Monday night, but I don't really make, you know, only if it's on. But if there's a, you know, Spurs versus Lakers, just say, and, you know, I'll watch it. That's just me. I like how in the NBA, the players, there's LeBrons, there's Steph Curry's, there's Kevin Durant's. In the NFL, there's really not that many iconic players off the field like that, in a way. I mean, there are some for sure, but I would say that in the NBA, there's generally more all at once, because right now, if you look, there's people who are like more global, sort of like superstar kind of players. And if there's, I would say maybe, even from the Giants, maybe there's probably like 10 to 15 dudes, if they walk right past me down the street, I wouldn't even recognize them. You never see them without their helmet. I just feel like the NBA is a lot more of like a personal thing. NFL, it brings people together. It's an event. You watch it on Sunday. Mm-hmm. You watch the Super Bowl together. People get together, throw huge parties. But just for me, from a pure viewer standpoint, I would rather watch the NBA. I mean, that's not to say that, you know, my team in the NBA is more exciting because the Knicks are horrible. The Giants are horrible. So that's where I'm at with it right now. But yeah, it's just always been my thing. That's just me. What do you feel?
Well, both of you make some good, valid points. I like the one that you brought up about you can walk right past somebody and not know that he plays in the NFL. It's because you wear a helmet, you wear a face mask, shoulder pads, you know, and you don't know what you're looking at, except for the players that stand out, like your quarterbacks, your running backs, your receivers, you know, defensive backs, linebackers, maybe your defensive tackles. Mm-hmm. You got to be involved. I understand the Nick part. I've been a Nick fan since the 70s. I go back to Rory Sparrow, Trent Tucker, Lewis Orr, Kevin the Animal Bannister, Bill Cartwright, Ernie Grunfeld, Michael Ray Richardson, one of my favorite players of all time. So you know, I've been a suffering Knick fan for a long time, except for Pat Riley came on board and we drafted Patrick Ewing, first pick of the draft. And then we had Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley, John Starks, Derek Harper. Yep. You know, Greg Anthony. We had players, and we fought tooth and nail. You didn't want to mess with the Knicks. I enjoyed those. Jeff Van Gundy, of course. Lunatic. Remember when he jumped on Alonzo Mourning's leg? But he did it because, you know, he loved his team. He loved his players. And, you know, it was a great time to be a Knicks fan back then. And we're suffering today. We are. But you know what? We got the 3rd pick of the draft. We got 2 max contracts, so I am going to be more involved
That's right.
in the NBA. I grew up in the 80s with the Bird and the Magic, and it was incredible on a Sunday afternoon on WABC Sports when they would play. There was nothing like it back then, and it was all about basketball in the NBA back then. Then we had the Detroit Pistons of the late 80s, early 90s, and then Michael came along.
Bad boy.
And, it was all about the NBA. I grew up, like I said, in Hudson County, and, what we did was, we didn't play video games. We didn't do anything except go hit the schoolyard after school.
Mm-hmm.
And, you go there with a ball, and you could play by yourself. You can't play football by yourself. So it was all about basketball in the early years for me. Now, and I love you, and I respect your opinion, and you're entitled to it. But I am definitely an NFL kind of guy. I love, and it has to do with a lot. I think the NFL, Goodell he doesn't have many people that like him, but he does a hell of a job for the people he works for, and that's the owners. Mm-hmm. That's who he works for.
Okay.
And, it's a $1 billion industry, and it's not by fault. I look forward to every Sunday. I believe that Sunday football is a time to be with your family, to be with your friends, to make a gathering, to eat. I believe that it's great that we have football now on, Thursday night, Saturday, Sunday night, Monday night. It's the change of the seasons. For me, when you live in Jersey, you got the fall. It gets cold. It gets dark. And it's so much more build-up. We play, I think it's 82 games in the NBA, if I'm not mistaken. 82 games. Mm-hmm. And, with the playoffs and stuff, it kind of gets to a long season. I can miss 5, 6, 7, 8 games in the Knicks. I read the paper, I know what their record is, until it comes to playoff time. Every game in the NBA for me and NFL is a big, important game. Mm-hmm. League game, conference game, means a lot. I do love the NFL. I know what you're saying about the players. I think, we do have iconic players in the NFL. It's a little tough. Expectancy of an NFL player, I believe, is 2.5 years. Compared to the NBA, I think it's 5 to 7. They're both highly paid people. And I think to compare it both too is like you're an NBA fan of a team. There's 12 players. You're gonna know them all.
Right.
Yeah. NFL. I'm a Giant fan. I might know 18, 17, 19, 20 players. The rest of them I'm not too sure about. Mm-hmm. Maybe the starters. And I'm just more. I love that Sunday afternoon feeling. And with fantasy football now, you get more involved. And what is that called? Red
Zone.
Yeah, the Red Zone. Mm-hmm. I can't stand it personally. It gives me a headache. I'd rather just sit and watch one game. It's too much going on when you get my age, And so yeah, I'm choking this one up to the NFL for me.
No, I definitely get it. I understand. And I understand why the NFL is more of a huge corporation than the NBA for sure. I get why it makes more money. It's an event sort of thing. Like you said, there's only 16 games for each team every season. So each game, if you lose, you could be out of the playoffs, just off one loss. So I definitely understand that. Maybe it's because for basically, I think the first I was born in 99. The first Patriots Super Bowl, Tom Brady was 99.
2099? First Patriots Super Bowl.
Greatest show on turf.
Right.
Yeah, what was that?
Right, that was 99. That was 99. So, it was either the 99 season or the Super Bowl was in 99. One way or another.
It was 99.
It was 99.
For the Patriots?
Ravens won in 2000.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So, basically, my entire life and experience as an NFL fan, I see the Patriots go to the Super Bowl basically every year.
See, but I also feel like you can make that one argument, though, going off of a franchise standpoint with the San Antonio Spurs, who have only missed the playoffs 3 times in their franchise.
I was going to say, so it may be a lot of, repeating champions. You got the Spurs a lot. You have the Lakers, the Celtics. But it's still some sort of variation. You get different teams in there. Even though it's a lot of the same teams over and over again, it's still different combinations of teams. I feel like the Patriots go every single year. So, although the Giants are in the NFC, so it doesn't really affect us going there, and
we're all NFC teams here,
right? So it's a different. Like this year, the Rams were the Patriots. I knew the Patriots were winning, and it's kind of the same way the Warriors are now. That's kind of how I felt my entire life. The Warriors, for me, it's only been the past 4 years. It's annoying. I hate seeing the same team go. But it's in both sports. So, and when I grew up, like one of my, I grew up idolizing Kobe. Was my favorite player when I was a kid.
Great player.
So that was it for me, really. And then growing up in football, especially, there's not a player really. At least when I was growing up, that I could look to like a Kobe, someone who's a lot more personal. You hear from them a lot more. You see them in the commercials, and they're doing all that stuff. They got the shoes out and all this, marketing stuff that's geared towards people rather than, the NFL. You look at the commercials, it's all beer commercials. They want to sell you something. So I get it. I understand why it's like that. But, for a kid looking at the sports, you see Kobe dunking on people, shooting threes at the end of the game. It's just more of like for a kid at least, and that's something that like sticks to you a little more. Now that I'm, growing up, I understand the NFL and each players, and I know that there's iconic players. Tom Brady is probably the greatest athlete ever, arguably ever. So
Football player.
Yeah, football
player.
I don't think so either.
He's
conversation came
he's not too
He's
not
not
too athletic. He can throw a
the most
ball.
athletic person.
He can throw a ball.
Right.
Probably runs a 6
People
flat.
Yeah,
I don't
usually a
know.
6 flat.
He's
But
got as much athletic ability than my kid right here to the left hand.
shit.
So it's just a matter of preference. Either way, NFL, NBA is just 1-2 for me. So I love both. I know something about the NBA always I gravitated to it a little more. If the Knicks were good, it would be a different story. I could go to the Garden, go watch a game, but they've been sucking my entire life. So when hopefully we get KD and it's a different story. But
Yeah, KD, 2 max contracts. Wishful thinking, guys. Wishful thinking.
Yeah. So, right now I got a couple questions for you. You say that you grew up in Hudson County,
Correct.
right? Just as a kid growing up in Hudson County in the 70s and early 80s.
Late 80s.
Late 80s.
trying to put like 10 years.
What are you? Wait, hold on. What are you? 72.
I was born in 71.
71.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So as a kid,
As a kid in the
Your
70s, and
early 80s.
Yeah, but he's in
Okay.
high school playing sports. in the
Okay,
80s.
yeah.
Right, graduated in
80s.
89.
How has the high school and kid process of sports changed from you growing up to going out and hanging out with your friends every day? Not even just with a sports standpoint, but you just hanging out on a daily basis back then to today, when you obviously seeing me grow up and me and my friend group.
That's a good question. It's probably an important question. Me growing up, you left the house at 8 o'clock in the morning. We didn't come back till 5 o'clock when my mother would yell dinner. We didn't play many video games. Atari, I believe, was the first video that came out, and I was already out there playing basketball, playing football, playing wiffle ball, stickball, running bases, hide and go seek, manhunt. We played. We had a ball, we had a bike, we had a stick, and that's what we did. We rang bells and said, "Come on, let's go out and play today." We did all 3 sports, sometimes 4 or 5 sports. Whatever they wanted to play, that's what we did. We were not. Nowadays the kids, a lot of them, if you're a basketball player, you're going to AAU, you're going to camps, you're playing basketball 365 days a year.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be better, bigger, stronger than everybody else. You're going to private tutoring, private coaches, you're shooting jump shots every day. If you're a football, it's the same thing. You're going to camps, you're going to quarterback camps, you're going to camps all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to hit the weight room every day. So I think the biggest difference today is that when we were kids, we went out there, we played what anybody wanted to play. We played all sports. We did everything. We weren't locked into one thing all year long. And now it's cutthroat. It's tough to be a young kid these days. Kids are staying in. They're playing video games or they're playing their one sport. Times are changed. There's a lot more crime out there. You got the inner cities. Where that's where I grew up. Hudson County is definitely inner city. And back then we can go to the park. We could hang out till 10 o'clock at night. We could play under the lights. It's a different feel today.
Right.
And I love growing up in that day and age. Weekends were spent outside, and that's what we did back then. Everybody got out there and we played and played. And today I think that because of the circumstances of this day and age, we didn't have to. Kids these days have to get jobs. Also, 14, 15, 16 years old. You got to work,
Mm-hmm.
and your time is limited. So I think it's, with being better, parents are involved now a lot more with getting their kid better and hiring, baseball, you go to all these, gamers and
No, they're everywhere.
and they're everywhere.
Everywhere,
They're popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
You play for leagues all over. You know, some people spend tens of thousands of dollars to get their kid to be better than the next kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
And unfortunately, if you ain't that top athlete, you know, I don't care how much you practice and you know, swing the bat and throw the ball and shoot your free throws and your layups and catch passes, you're not going to get there.
See, and it's also not fair for the kid who can't afford to travel.
Yeah.
Exactly.
League, who
Yeah.
It's not equal playing.
the kid who can bat 350 or 450 and hit 30 home runs, but can't afford the $10,000 to travel to Idaho in front of 50 scouts.
Yeah, or can't afford a
And-
$250 bat. You know, so
Yeah.
just a lot, something as simple as that. You have
Yeah.
another question? Because I have one for you.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I see a lot of people now, people my age especially, but people a little older than me, people who are having kids say, I'm not going to let my kid play football.
Mm.
How do you feel about that? Because I know a lot of people are concerned about the injuries, and I understand that. I'm not going to say I necessarily agree with that because if a kid really wants to play a sport, I think they are aware of, some of the things that come along with it. I understand from a parent standpoint, you don't want your kid to potentially put their body on the line, but if a kid loves a sport and he has a real talent for it, how do you really know whether or not to allow them to pursue it? The same thing with, you might not want your kid to pursue boxing. So how do you feel about that? Letting kids play football?
That's a good question. That's why I put on my thinking cap for this one. Give me a little something. I've been going back and forth this for a long time. I played football since I was 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I love the sport. I did suffer from concussions. I believe it affects me today in everything that I do in my life. The amount of concussions that I had, that I sustained, that were noted, that I went to the hospital for.
Mm-hmm.
Back then we had Max Pro helmets that didn't have any padding in them. I hit the floor, in the gyms. But as a parent today, if my son wanted to play football, I'm going to let him play football. Do I think it's a dangerous sport? I do think it's a dangerous sport.
Right.
But I think that if, we're coached the right way, we tackle the right way, you don't, lead with your head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we can. We're not going to get rid of concussions. We're not going to get rid of injuries. It's a violent sport.
Right.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But if we're coached the right way, if we do things the right way, if we play a good game between the lines, between the sidelines, I think that we've come, leaps and bounds in what we wear, our helmets, shoulder pads, all kinds of things that we use. We're advancing every single day. We have top universities coming up with these helmets that absorb shock for when they get hit. And I think it's only going to get better. I think a major thing that has changed when it comes to injuries on the football field more than any other sport is our athletes these days are unbelievable. They're running faster, they're jumping higher, they're stronger, they're quicker, and when they hit you, they're hitting you.
Yeah.
They're running 4.3 40s and they're coming 40 yards at you, and they're gonna knock you down. 20, 30, 40 years ago, your offensive lineman averaged probably 217 to 225. Now they're 300 pounders hitting you.
So do you think that the field should get bigger as it goes on?
The
Because
field?
football it's stayed the same throughout the
Sure.
history. From high school to the pros, we've had guys in the 60s playing on a 100-yard football field.
Oh, the field itself, you mean?
The field itself. Guys are getting bigger.
I don't think that. I don't think so. I think it should stay the way it is. I think the 120 yards with the end zone, 50 yards that way. I think it should stay that way. I like the game that way. I don't think we should spread it out at all. The field to get too long.
Right.
There won't be enough scoring. People love scoring.
Yeah.
If you lengthen the field, harder to get a touchdown. So then what are we going to do? Are we going to get 6 downs, 7 downs, 8 downs? I think we should keep it the way it is. I just think that we have to educate our kids more about injuries, about the tackling, the blocking, the blocking below the knees. People sustain these knee injuries and they lose a career.
They never, yeah.
They never come back from it. So, but your question in the beginning was yes, I would let my child play.
Yeah.
I would definitely be a part of it. I think that the way they do things now with the concussion protocol is what we never had. And I think it's working for people. Unfortunately, people have, your Junior Seau's, Mike Webster's
Right.
of the world that have committed suicide, and they're choking up to, the concussions. So we're putting millions and millions and millions of dollars into research, and they're doing their job. The NFL, I believe.
Right.
And
Yeah, people are kind of up in arms about how they changed the rules and roughing the passer. They're saying it's making the game soft. I don't really feel that way. I feel like it's good for the game. You don't want to see dudes, losing their career over, just because you want to see a sack look one way or another. You don't want the quarterback to lose his career.
I'm one of those people though.
Are you?
Who I 100%. I think that if someone wants to lead with their head, they know the outcome of it. I think that when you look at sports such as boxing and UFC, mixed martial arts, these guys are signing up to get hit,
Right.
to get their asses kicked. They know what the outcome's going to be. They know that their head's going to get bashed. But it's a thing that they love.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's fair to the guy who wants to go out there and that wants to kill the quarterback for his team because he loves the game, where if he touches the quarterback half a second after he releases that ball, he's getting fined a penalty for 15 yards, a fine of $50,000. I just don't think I don't like the move. I think that these guys, they know what they're signing up for. If you don't want to take the chance, don't play. There are guys out there who are willing to take the chance, who want this league to be a contact league, and we're just getting soft.
Right.
Well, contrary to that, I believe that the guy doing the hitting, like you said, leading with his head, yeah, he knows what he's signing up for. But the defensive receiver coming across the middle, didn't sign up to get hit when the defender is leading with his head.
Yeah.
So I don't, and protecting the quarterback, man, look, quarterbacks, people come to see the quarterbacks, most important position in all of sports.
Yeah.
All of sports.
And if he's getting blindsided by some guy and he's sticking his face mask and the numbers in the back and he's ruining his career, maybe crippling this guy, I'm not doing this for the defensive lineman. I'm not protecting them. I'm protecting the quarterback, the receiver, the out of the backfield running back who's running a fly pattern out into the flats, and he turns around and he's looking back at the quarterback and he gets smashed. So we're protecting. I guess we're protecting the offensive players in this. But you know what? We want to see touchdown. We want to see scoring. We want to see long runs.
Yeah.
We want to see passes down the field. I can do away with the extracurricular activity on the field when it comes to harming offensive players.
Yeah, I mean, you're never going to satisfy anybody. Everybody, rather. You're not going to satisfy everybody. There's always going to be injuries in football. There's non-contact injuries. Dudes plant their foot wrong, tear their ACL, or their Achilles,
I mean, even if you look at the play with Alex Smith this year.
Right.
It was a clean tackle.
Exactly.
And...
Or dudes, a first day at OTAs, they go stretch, or they go to do, like
Teddy Bridgewater a couple years ago. Almost blew out his whole entire leg.
Right.
Tore MCL and ACL.
Reuben Foster this year, first day at OTAs, tore his ACL. He's out for the season. I feel like there's too many injuries already where, I think their efforts to limit any kind of injuries that they can, I think that's smart on their part, especially business-wise. If you lose your best player because of... It's very likely that Tom Brady could drop back for a snap in the first game of the year, tears ACL. Nobody touches him.
Your mouth to God's ears. You can only hope, right? See it, Tom. Don't let the door hit you in the ass. And we're going to worry about them being back in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
All right, so I got one more question for you. And then,
that'll be a good one.
All right,
because I got to pee.
All right, you're a person who's been around for a while.
47 years.
You've watched sports. You've played them.
100%.
In your personal opinion,
okay,
who has been the best athlete that you have ever laid eyes on?
Wow, best athlete that I have ever laid eyes on. That's a great question, and I don't know the last time it was asked to me. And my buddy over here, Vinny the Chin Farley, he's pointing at Ray Lewis. Could be. Probably one of the best top 3 defensive players of all time. Sick athlete. But when I think of athletes, I think I go by position. I think your running backs, linebackers, defensive backs, receivers in football. I think in basketball, they're all athletes. They run, they jump. Their lateral movement is next to none. They got to play defense. It's a tough question, I could take it into where are we taking this? Are we taking this into UFC fighting? These guys are tremendous athletes.
That's a great
question. Soccer players, I could go on. Ronaldo, great athlete. Do I consider Tiger Woods the best golfer that I've ever seen, an athlete, it's a tough call.
Right.
Same to NASCAR guys. So I'm going to keep it, I think Michael Jordan could do it all. I think my answer to that question, if I had to give you one, is Deion Sanders.
Deion.
Deion,
Okay.
That's
I
fair.
think the guy played
Over
both
Bo?
sports. Bo Jackson and Deion, Bo Jackson would be number 2 for me.
I feel like Deion was better.
I think athlete, all around athlete.
Yeah.
Bo could do it. Bo did it all too. Don't you
Well,
know?
Bo was a better baseball
for
player.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think just Deion could do whatever he wanted to do. I watched Deion run the 40 in his combine. He ran the 40 so fast he kept running, never came back. He took off. He said, "I'm going to run the 40. I'm not going to come back."
Oh, yeah,
and he
he
kept
just
to his
kept
word. He just kept
He
going.
went
Ran out of the stadium. I think he ran a 4.340, something they've never seen before. And he cover any player.
Yeah.
He was better than than people give him credit for tackling. He could run punt returns back whenever he wanted to. He could catch the ball on offense. He'd go steal your bases, for the Atlanta Braves. He played a playoff game and a World Series game in the same day. And Tim McCarver didn't like it. And Deion definitely paid him back when he took the ice bucket and put it over his head. But, I'm going to go, I wasn't around to see, the other old-time older people that they say, like a Jim Brown and, people like that. But in my day and age, I'm going to go with Deion would be my number 1.
Okay, that's
Can't
fair.
really argue with that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a fair argument right there. If you follow us on Instagram, Ann is always posting up polls.
Yeah, it's just let us know whatever you guys want. You want to hear us talk about any sort of question or topic you want to hear us talk about it. Just
So-
let me know, let him know, let Jacob know behind the scenes, let him know. Any one of us will talk about it.
Even if you guys just see us in person, and a lot of you guys know us, so if you see us in person and just give us anything to talk about, we will bring it up. So this one was suggested to us on Ann's Instagram. Our favorite sports movie of all time. Now,
Tough question.
we started this conversation upstairs before we came down to the podcast, and we had a tough time. We even brought up a YouTube video. We tried watching some other people's opinions of the top 10 sports movies of all time. So, with me, I have 2. I think it's so hard to bring it into one, but when it comes to football movies, I'm going to have to go with Rudy. I think Rudy's one of the best football movies of all time. True story, just a great movie. The ending gets me every time.
Mm-hmm.
Then outside of that, my second one is it's a tie, man, between The Miracle on Ice, and Field of Dreams. So I'll let these guys give their opinion, and then we'll break this down. So
Go ahead, Jeff.
Thank you very much. Well, I thought about this. I was upstairs in that talk also, and as you know, I'm a little older than these fellas. There was a 80s movie called The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh. Dr. J was in it. Great basketball movie. I don't have a favorite, but I'm going to give you my couple tops. Very difficult to narrow it down to just one. I'm a person, I could watch a movie 25 times, ask my wife. You're watching Titanic again? I am. Guilty. So, you know what? Loving basketball, one of my favorites. Fish That Saved Pittsburgh. And, probably my number 1 sport movie of all time, be Hoosiers. Just great. Start to finish. Gene Hackman, great in that movie. Coach stays, I play. Coach goes, I go. A great part to the movie. Those are my basketball. Football, I love, We Are Marshall, Remember the Titans, Blind Side. And like my son over here to my left said, Nicky Rudy. Rudy's an all-time favorite. I don't know many people know, but the halfback in that movie was Vince Vaughn. And he's known today for his comic relief,
I
but,
did not know that.
I did not know that either.
he plays the halfback
Crazy. I
in
did not know
in
that.
Rudy. And, those 3. Baseball, you know what? I love the movie McFarlane USA. Kevin Costner plays coach based on a true story. And it's a cross-country race. And really, I could watch that movie start to finish probably 25 times. Baseball, I got to go with, like my man Vinny the Chin. said Sandlot, great movie. Bench Warmers classic.
Oh, man.
Oh, that was a good movie.
You know what I mean? But Field of Dreams, Angels in the Outfield. That's another one. There's a movie with Dennis Quaid, and for some reason I can't think of the name. I told Nicky upstairs. I don't think he did his research. So you do it yourself. He gets a chance to pitch in the pros after leading his team to a county championship. And those are my movies, man. You know what? I'm just going to give you all of them because I can watch any of them, anytime, anywhere, over and over and over again.
25 times?
25. At least.
At least 25.
25 times I start to skip a little bit, fast forward. Because I know the parts so well, you know what I mean? So I could do those 2-hour movies in about 10 minutes and 15 seconds. With a pizza pie, cut up into 32 pieces.
Oh, man.
This guy in the back, you got to see the chair he's sitting in. Oh, unbelievable. What is that thing?
I have no idea.
Me neither. Gianna had that for like 20 years. I don't know how he's going to get up.
It's comfortable, though.
Is it?
I wish I
I
had
like
that chair. I'm not
slingshots,
gonna
you
lie.
know?
Yeah, one of these days we're going to show you the studio. Holy moly. Asbestos falling from the ceiling. And an oxygen mask this time I'm here. This thinking cap is doing nothing for me. It's making my head pound. It's so tight. You got this on your head?
Yeah.
This is from you what?
When I was prom king.
You were praying? I didn't know this was comedy hour. Prom king. With that beard?
Yo.
Oh,
I
man.
like it.
Did not
No.
shave. He did not shave.
No, he didn't come prepared for this.
Hey, were you prom king?
No, I was not.
So there's only one king in the family.
There is. All right. We didn't have prom king back in the day.
Yeah?
No,
How about homecoming? Was
we
there
didn't have
homecoming?
that either. We didn't. I would have been both.
Okay. Alright,
Can we end this with one of my jokes?
of
Oh,
course.
we
Okay.
can do that. Wait, let's get Ant to tell his movies, and
Yeah,
then
so,
how about
oh, okay.
how about you got a story?
What kind of story? I got stories for everything.
Oh, he does have
I got a story
stories
for every day of the week.
All right, how about you end it with something that you've experienced, something that you could
You want to share
You
with
could
the people
definitely,
at home?
Oh boy, I don't know if I could share with the people at home.
No,
What
we
is this
are-
age
we
group?
are,
Is this like PG-13 or rated R?
No,
No,
we're unfiltered here,
Listen,
so
Oh.
you can drop
Say whatever you
F-bombs, you
want,
can do
yeah.
whatever you want. People,
I feel
Can
like
I-
you've been holding yourself back a little
Can I
bit.
tell a story? Yeah, I'm trying. This is my first time here.
Yeah,
I want to be
of
called back again. You know what I mean? Can I tell about the time I was homeless in Atlantic City, sleeping in a bus terminal for 5 nights?
Sure.
Okay.
we can do that.
I never heard that one before.
No?
I never-
Oh boy. I'll think about it. Good.
Alright. So, for me, like you said, there's so many different sports. It's hard to same way if someone asks you what's your favorite sport, it's kind of hard. It's not really fair to pick one. There's so many
Yeah.
to offer. But a movie that nobody brought up, I just remembered. I love it. I don't know about you guys. Major League.
Good
Oh,
movie.
okay. With, Charlie Sheen.
We weren't even talking
Yeah,
about it.
we did not even bring that up. Yeah, no,
I
that's a
just
good one.
remembered it. But if I
Oh,
had
that's
to
a good
pick,
answer. That was maybe because nobody went to the Cleveland Indian games. They were getting 13 people in the stands. Let's make a movie. Maybe we'll bring them out. Probably the worst baseball franchise for a long time.
no, seriously.
That is very true.
Yes.
My favorite, if I had to pick one, if I put guns to my head, I really had to pick one, it would be Creed. I love the movie. I love every Rocky movie, even the ones that people aren't really Rocky 5 and whatever. But for me, Creed is like my Rocky. My generation's Rocky. I like how modern it is. I like how they incorporated the old Rocky stories into it. They brought everything all together.
Yeah.
The sequel was really good, but the first one is just really, really good and really, really inspiring. It was just a really good movie all around. Like the baseball movies, Field of Dreams, amazing. Angels in the Outfield was amazing. Sandlot, I've never been a single person who doesn't like the Sandlot. I don't think it's possible to dislike the movie.
And I think growing up in
Everybody's
schools when the
seen it.
carts getting rolled into your classroom,
Everybody's seen it. So
Sandlot's coming on, everyone was happy.
what else is there? Yeah, Remember the Titans is an amazing movie. Denzel is great in the movie. Love and Basketball. There's just so many. But yeah, if I had to pick one, it's gonna probably be Creed. Yeah, that's it for me.
All right, so yeah, so I guess when we bring a guest on now, we'll let them end it however they like. They want to tell us a story, a joke, a couple stories, a couple jokes, however you want to take us out.
It's been an honor.
Keys are yours.
It's been an honor to be here with you two.
We're handing you the keys.
Let me tell you
right now.
something. Holy cow. gave up a date night for my wife for this. Oh my gosh. She's giving me back there. You guys don't see it, but she's going 5, 4. Hey, phenomenal, right? Jim Valvano. Great man. You know what, guys, listen, I'm gonna try to keep my I'm gonna tell a joke, and then I'll give you a little story. So this blind guy, he walks into a bar and he's got a seeing eye dog with him, you know? So he goes in, he sits down at the bar, and he has a couple of drinks. You know, all of a sudden he picks the dog up by the tail and starts swinging him around the bar, you know? All the patrons are like, what the hell is he doing? The bartender's like, sir, what are you doing? He says, I'm just looking around. This fucking guy. Alright. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so my story, my son's a part of. I'm going to try to keep them clean. A lot of my stories are rated R and above. So my buddy calls me up and says, hey, Jeff, how you doing? I'm good. How you doing? He says, good. I say, good. He says, would you like to go to the Met game with me? I say, yeah. He says, I'm bringing my son, James. You could bring your son, Nicky. I say, great. So we go to the game. And this guy, he doesn't really like to have too many drinks. Me, on the other hand, I drink a vat. And so we pull up to Citi Field, and he's like, we got unbelievable seats. We're in a skybox. Ooh. So right away, I'm thinking, skybox. Free booze, free food, the whole 9 yards, you know? So we get there, and, you know, I got a little stash in my pocket, you know? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I'll drink this before I go into the game. So we get to the game early. I go into a Porta-John. Stinks like shit. What else would it stink like, right? So I go in there, and as I'm about to, like, drink my little booze, Nicky opens up the door to the Porta-John. My pants are halfway down to my knees. My thing's going like this in the wind. I'm like this with the bottle, and he sees me. We make eye contact. I'm like, I'm fucked. So I throw the bottle away. Ruins my high immediately. So I walk into this Citi Field, and we're there. And we're having a good time. Well, they're having a good time. I'm miserable. And so we get to the skybox, and I'm pumped. Because, you know, we're in the new Citi Field. We got to go look at this, look at that, and everything. I have no interest. All right? Because if you've been to the new Citi Field, it's all about Jackie Robinson and the Brooklyn Dodgers for some reason. I don't know why, but it is. Give me some 86 World Series Mets. Mm-hmm. Give me some Lenny Dykstra. Give me some Darryl Strawberry. Give me some Dwight Gooden, who's in Jersey City right now walking the streets. Who knows what he's doing?
You know Lenny Dykstra lives in Linden, right?
Yeah, he lives in Linden. Yeah, he's got like 40 people living in the house. Slumlord. Way to go, Lenny. My kind of guy. So we get to the skybox, right? I can't wait, you know. Chicken fingers, French fries, you know, little sliders, Absolute, some Budweiser, Absolute, some Coors Light. So we sit down, and it's me, this guy Jamie, his son James, my son Nicky, and this other couple. I'm looking around after the first inning. I'm like, where is everything? And there's nothing to be found. So I come out of the skybox, I make a right-hand turn, and I look into the other skybox. Everybody's partying. Big parties, booze. Did I mention Absolute? Yeah. Absolute, beer, food, you name it. You know, all the good stuff. Mozzarella sticks, fried mushrooms, chicken wings. Mozzarella sticks. You know, everything that's bad for you but tastes delicious. Is he telling me to speed it up?
No, I'm saying just everything.
Oh, yeah, everything. Yeah, I thought you were telling me this. Hey, it's my basement, pal.
Please take it
back. I'm like, oh, they must have forgot us. We were the last skybox on the platform. They forgot us, you know. So me, being a nice guy I am, I said, let me go to somebody else's skybox and kind of help myself, you know, bring the party to the other skybox. So I came back, you know, one of those big gray ice trays. I loaded it up. Beer, Absolute. Chicken fingers, mozzarella sticks, chicken wings. I made 2 or 3 trips. Mm-hmm. And we're sitting there. The people next to me are loving me now because I'm giving them free beer, chicken wings, mozzarella sticks, buffalo wings, all the good stuff. And the guy who took me there was fuming. He didn't even look at me. He was shaking like a June bride. Gonna get it. Just don't know how bad he's gonna get it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So about 10 minutes in, I got a little tap on the shoulder. My boy Nicky's with me. And I look back, and there's security. It's like 10 security guards, and the people over there are all pointing at me. It was him. So I got asked to leave the skybox, and long story short, I've never talked to that gentleman again. He lives about 4 houses away, and I haven't been back to Citi Field since that either. I'm not allowed. They took my picture, all my info, and signing out.
All right.
Hasta luego. You know, I got a movie to catch. I'm going to see The Hustle with Anne Hathaway. That's my Friday night, guys. So let's see. So, okay, he wants me to tell the story. This wasn't what I was going to say, but I'm going to make him happy. So here's what I told you, the Citi Field story. Prior to that Citi Field opening up, I went to Shea Stadium. I believe it was in like 2000, 1999, 98. I was a firefighter. I was at the fire department. We went out, bunch of guys. We get there. I'm sitting and we're having a good time. Third inning comes, and I go downstairs, to get a beer, a couple beers for the guys. So we have this guy serving a beer, and he's got his earphones in. He's serving like 1 beer every 5 minutes. I'm getting agitated, boy. I can't. People are screaming, people yelling. He don't care, and I couldn't hold back anymore. So I jumped over the counter at the Shea Stadium, and I proceeded to pour my beer and everybody else that I could pour beer until I was very nicely escorted out of Shea Stadium once again. They took my license, my name, my information, where I live, what I do. And, only by the grace of God did I make it out there without getting arrested. So when I got out of there, I'm walking over. You got to walk over like that bridge that takes you over to where they play tennis, I didn't know where I was going. And I've been there once before, but we drove in. We took public transportation, LIR, nightmare. So I get out, and all of a sudden I'm walking. I got my stub, and about 16-year-olds circle me. And they want to steal my ticket and my money. I'm getting mugged. Broad daylight. This was like a 1 o'clock, this is a 1 o'clock game. And I'm like, they're going to mug me? No way. So I gave them my money. I gave them like $6 and a hot dog. I gave them one of those flyers. And I gave my ticket stub. And I went on my way. Thank God. And as I'm getting back to the LIRR, unbeknownst to me, the cops, they tried to get in with my stub. The cops came and took the stub, and they went to my seat, and they said to the fireman, do you know who this is? This guy would say, yeah, that's, Jeff Moreno's stub. They're like, well, Jeff Moreno didn't have this. And they're like, what was it? Well, it was stolen from Jeff Moreno, or something happened. We're trying to get to the bottom of it. So, right then and there, the red flags for the fire department are like, okay, where is Moreno? So that's when the bolo went out. You know what that is? A bolo is be on the lookout. BOLO. For me. So, everybody's looking, everybody's calling, nobody can find me. I wound up getting on the LIRR, going back to Penn Station, and stopped at the Houlihan's, had a couple of quickies, couple pints, you know what I mean? And I got on a train and I fell asleep. And I woke up on the last stop on the train, which was, I still don't know to this day where I was. I think I was in Asbury Park. I missed about 15 stops south of where I was supposed to go. And the game was over. Everybody was home. They're all looking for me. Nobody could find me. I couldn't find me. I didn't know where I was, I looked around. I felt like I was sleeping for days. So, now I had no money. And I got off that. Fell asleep in the train terminal again. Asbury Park. Not a nice place to be. And eventually my wife came, and my wife called, and we got in touch. I got back on a train, made it up to Rawway. She picked me up at Rawway, and I went home. Needless to say, I've never been invited back to a game with the fire department.
So it's both stadiums then.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm 2 for 2. 2 for 2. Yeah.
All right, so I guess that's where we're going to wrap it up, guys. Once again, thank you, Dad. Appreciate it.
This was the best 40 minutes of my life.
Nice.
Wait, how long were we? We didn't even get into... We didn't really talk too much about the playoffs.
Yeah, I know.
We didn't talk too much about Kawhi.
Well, they did.
Well, we
did
talked about
you did all that
before.
Okay, because there's a lot going on.
All right, well, hopefully next time you're up here, he lives down in Miami. You can be
Hurricanes,
back on.
baby. Yeah.
So, all right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Once again, I'm Nick.
Anthony.
Thank you for listening to
Jeffrey.
Thank you for listening to the Spitball Podcast. Our Instagrams are right here.
Right here.
Right here.
Actually, you know what else we're gonna do? We're gonna put Vincent Farley's Instagram right here as well. He's been down here for both episodes.
Not contributing.
Not contributing.
It's
Every now
alright,
and then
though.
he gets a fork for us if we bring down food. But we appreciate it. He's showing us love. He records us while we're talking and sending us to our friends while we're doing this. So now they don't watch us on social media. But, on YouTube. But...
I give all your topics.
Is this going to be on YouTube?
This is going to be on YouTube.
I could be a YouTube sensation.
You could be.
You definitely could.
Never know, right, Ant?
I think you might be.
Ant balls. How you doing?
And our producer, Jacob Cologne, his Instagram will be right here as well.
Wait, it's
So...
gonna be in the same spot as mine.
Bro, it's not gonna stay there forever.
I don't understand
Yeah.
what you're doing, like when you say Instagram's
No,
right
because
here.
he's gonna edit it.
He's gonna
It's
edit it,
go, like,
and he's
right-
gonna put it here.
Oh, it's gonna be right here.
Yeah. So like when we're talking, if we mention like Carmelo Anthony, Carmelo's gonna be like right here now, right over here,
Oh, okay.
or over here, depending on where he wants to put him.
Gotcha.
So you can say a person's name. He's gonna be there.
Okay, Scott Skiles.
He's there. He's already there.
He's already
Oh,
there.
It's already there.
Okay.
Done deal.
Done deal.
I like
Thank
that.
you guys.
Kiki Vandeweghe.
Oh, okay. We're just gonna keep saying
He's a great
names.
shooter.
He played for the Knicks.
He's a great shooter.
He thought he was the be-all, come-all. Portland Trailblazer. Couldn't hit fucking water jumping out of a boat as a Knick. What are you gonna do?
That's it. Any more names?
Thank you
Can
to
we, wrap it
everybody
up?
for who
Oh, I can give
reposted
you
it on
names
their
all day.
stories.
Yeah.
If you wanna
How about
keep
Ron
it-
Guidry?
Ron Guidry. Ooh, Yankees.
Louisiana Lightning.
We're just gonna put a bunch of Knick players right here, covering his face. Okay. Thank you for watching.
Stevie
Thank
Wonder.
you for showing love. Thank you for showing love. You guys exceeded our expectations with the first video. Please keep showing support. We appreciate it. Thank you. And until next time.